Welcome to the Mom Self-Care Podcast, your safe space to finally focus on YOU. I'm Chari Twitty-Hawkins, your self-care coach for moms, praying wife, and mom of four. And I know that being a Christ-centered mom is such a beautiful calling, but it can be so draining. That's why it's important to make sure you are filling your own cup. On this podcast, we'll discuss practical, holistic self-care strategies to help nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Because a mama who fills her own cup pours that back into her family with true peace and joy. Tune in for honest conversations about motherhood and self-care because you matter too. Blessings, mamas, and welcome to the Mom Self-Care Podcast. I am Chari Twitty-Hawkins, your host and self-care coach for moms. And today, with Thanksgiving and Christmas and all the holidays coming up, I just want to share with you some ways to have a stress-free or stress-less holiday season. Now, we know with the holidays, it can be a joyful time, but it can also be a stressful time because sometimes maybe you don't get along with family members, or maybe you're trying to make everything perfect when really, of course, I'm going to tell you, if you've been following me, there's no such thing as perfection. So we want to let go. That is tip number one. Let go of expecting everything to be perfect because things are going to happen. Things are going to mess up. And that's just the way it is. But you have to actually go with the flow and just make the best of it. And if you don't, and you try to fight it, it's just going to cause what? More stress. And we want what? Less stress. Okay. We want less stress. So that's number one. Stop trying to make everything perfect. If something goes wrong, just go with the flow and keep it going. Number two, actually, I should have made this number one, but since I was there, I went ahead and went with it. But number two is plan and prep ahead. So anything that you can do ahead of time, like, of course, we know Thanksgiving, depending on when you're watching or listening to this, Thanksgiving is coming up. And I know a lot of people, they cook and everything on Thanksgiving Day. And y'all know how it is. We're not having quote unquote dinner until 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever time, because it could be because of this or not. But a lot of times people are cooking their full meal on Thanksgiving Day. Now, I'm learning myself, and I've learned there's things you can prep ahead of time. Maybe the pie filling, the greens, you can prep it ahead of time. Maybe not cook it, but at least prep it ahead of time. Put it in the refrigerator or freezer, and then take it out and cook it. So thinking about that, planning and then prepping ahead of time so you're not doing all the things on the day of or at the last minute. Number three is know your triggers. As I talked about, there can be stress. Maybe you don't get along with everybody. Know your triggers. Is it someone that's going to say something, or they're going to look at you a certain way, or just the stress of doing things at the last minute? What are those triggers that are going to get you in a place that you're not happy about? And then say to yourself, how am I going to deal with this? How am I going to deal with this? What am I going to do? Am I going to pray and ask God to help me through this? Am I going to go step outside for a few minutes, breathe? Am I going to say an affirmation to myself over and over in my head until I calm it down? Because maybe you can't step out of the room at that moment. What is that thing you're going to do for whatever that trigger is? And then set boundaries around those things. When you say, this is what I'm going to do, when you set those boundaries, stick to those boundaries. And also set boundaries around if you're hosting, maybe say, hey, this is what time we're going to eat. This is the type of behavior that is allowed in my home. Setting those boundaries with people outside of your home, people inside of your home as well, including yourself. And if you want to know more about setting boundaries, if you're like, well, I want to set boundaries, but I don't know how to stick to them. Check out episode 5, where I went deep into how to set boundaries and how to stick to them. So set boundaries. I don't know what number I'm on no more, y'all, because I just have a lot of stuff popping up in my head when I'm thinking about how to have us stress less during the holidays. But next is to plan your rest. Of course, we're talking about self-care. Yes, this is all self-care, but I know when we often think about self-care, we think about rest. So plan your rest. When are you going to sit down somewhere? Plan it during the day. After I'm done cooking this, I'm going to sit down and relax instead of going and doing the next thing. Or you could say in between each thing I prepare or put in the oven, I'm going to sit down for 10, 15 minutes and read or scroll on your phone or pray or go outside and just walk for a few minutes and then come back in. That can help so much, just getting out and getting outside. So decide, how are you going to rest? Are you going to take a nap? What is that going to be for you? Are you going to call somebody? Because like we talked about your triggers and you're like, oh, I can't take it. I'm about to go off. I'm about to go off. Do you need to go outside with somebody or call somebody and talk it out? That's rest. So plan your rest. The day before, right now, this podcast is Tuesday. So tomorrow, if you're prepping food on Wednesday and you're doing a lot and you're going shopping, God bless you, because I know it's a lot of people out there. Oh my goodness. Plan these things. When are you going to rest on Wednesday? When are you going to rest on Thursday? And if you're listening to this and it's before Christmas or any other holiday, the same thing applies. Plan your rest. If you're getting gifts for your kids and you're out there getting wrapping paper and all these different things, when you come home, plan some time to rest. Even if that rest is, y'all, I've done several TikToks about this, even if it's that car self-care where you get home, instead of rushing into the house, into doing the next thing, say to yourself, I'm going to sit about 10 minutes in this car and relax and woosah, listen to my favorite music. Maybe, like I said, read a book or something, pray, meditate. All right, the timer went off after 10 minutes, 15 minutes, even if it's just 5 minutes. Then you go in the house. But plan that. Say to yourself, this is what I'm going to do. Because you want to make sure you're okay. You want to make sure you're filling your own cup. So plan your rest. Say it with me. Plan your rest. Okay. And be serious about it. Making a non-negotiables, just like you're making a non-negotiable about Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner, gifts, whatever it is, whatever holiday is coming up. And then last but not least is practice gratitude. And this will help with your triggers. This will help with you when you're trying to rest and your mind is racing, thinking about all the things. Practice gratitude. Just maybe if your kids are acting up and they won't hush and they won't sit down or they saying stuff they ain't supposed to be telling people, y'all know how kids are. Say to yourself, thank God for my children. They are a blessing from God. Even though you may be thinking, oh, I just want to choke up. Practice gratitude. If people are messing up your house and you don't like that, practice gratitude. At least they are here. At least they're alive and breathing. Because though it may seem cliche, it is so much so the truth. Every day is not promised, and everybody did not wake up today. If you go to the grocery store and they are out of your sweet potatoes or your condensed milk or whatever it is, because you know it's late, thank God that I'm alive. Thank God that I'm in this store. Just practice gratitude and then figure out what you're going to do. Because if they're out of it, either you're going to have to substitute it or you're going to have to go to another store or something, or you're going to have to do without whatever it is if you cannot find it anywhere. So just practice gratitude. In the midst of the craziness, it will help shift your perspective. It will help you respond to your negative triggers in a different way when you're saying, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. It can even be some, y'all know I'm silly. It can even be, thank you, Lord, for holding my tongue right now because you know what I really want to say. You know, so I'm thank you, Lord, in advance. Thank you right in this moment. Practice gratitude. It will shift your perspective. So just a quick recap of what I can remember. Like I said, I know I actually said more than I planned to. Number one, stop expecting perfection. Things are not going to go the way you want them. So if you're trying to make things perfect and they don't go perfectly, then that's life. That's okay. And those can be some of the best memories. Number two is plan or prep ahead of time. So whatever you can make, cook, buy, delegate, do it ahead of time if possible. So you're not doing everything at the last minute. Number three, I think, know your triggers. Know your triggers. Know those things that are going to bother you and frustrate you and figure out how you are going to deal with them in a positive way. And one of those ways could be number four, setting boundaries. Set clear boundaries about what you're going to accept, what you're not going to accept from other people and from yourself. Set boundaries with yourself as well. Number 5, I don't know. Y'all know I don't know where I am. But the next one is plan your rest. Plan your rest, not just at the end of the night when you fall out and you are wore out, but throughout the day to maintain your mental health and your physical health. Plan little pockets, what I call little pockets of rest, even if it's just 5 minutes, like I said, in between cooking meals or shopping or spending time with family. Plan your rest, even if you feel something coming on with your triggers and you feel yourself getting overwhelmed, go take some space and some time and rest. Rest your mind, rest your body so that you can come back after 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes, whatever, refreshed and renewed and able to, which is the next one, practice gratitude and be present with your friends and your family. So, as I said, practice gratitude, being thankful that your family, your friends are here, they're alive, they're breathing. Being thankful that you're here, you're alive, you're breathing. Being thankful that even though the kids are loud, they're being kids and they're happy and they're joyful and they're creating wonderful memories. Well, I hope you have an amazing Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, whenever you're watching or listening to this, for whatever holiday season. It could be your birthday, Easter, whatever. I hope you have an amazing holiday season. And I really do hope this helps you to stress less, because we as moms, we already, just on a regular without the holiday season, right? We already deal with enough stress. So this can just compound it. So make sure you save this episode, share with the mom you love, and leave a review if this blessed you. Until next time, happy holidays. Take care. God bless. Thanks so much for joining me for the Mom Self-Care Podcast. I hope you feel inspired to make yourself a priority too. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Share this podcast with another mama you love and leave a review. Also, feel free to let me know what you would like to hear about in future episodes by visiting me on Instagram at CIC Inspire Me. Until next time, take some time to take care of YOU, because you matter too.